This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Sophia Yvette.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Are you in need of a personal injury lawyer? Well, one may be closer than you think. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Eric Koenig. Hopefully, I'm saying that right, with Curtis Law Group. Eric, it is lovely to have you on today. Now, we are so excited to learn all about you and your business. Please start off by telling our listeners just a little bit more about your law firm.
Hi, Sophia. Thanks for having us on. So my name is Eric Koenig, and I am a personal injury attorney with Curtis Law Group. We are in North Dallas, but we do handle claims nationwide. We specialize in personal injury. So most of what we do is car accidents, just because that is the most frequent injury that most people will encounter. However, a personal injury can be anything from medical malpractice to a dog bite, a slip and fall. We also do mass torts like dangerous drugs, Camp Lejeune claims. Basically, any way that a person can be injured due to somebody else's negligence, we can help with.
Wow, what an interesting business you're in. How did you originally get involved in this industry?
So it was kind of a fluke. My early career led me to become a insurance adjuster. So that is also one of the things that sets our firm apart from other firms, is that we have extensive experience on the defense side. So I was a defense adjuster for big companies through a third-party administrator. So it was my job to defend companies like Hilton Hotels, Saya Trucking, some of the bigger firms that we're all aware of. And I eventually promoted up through, a guy that was handling bed bug claims for hotels to somebody that was then handling litigation for trucking. And the top of that career ladder was I became the risk manager for the city of Denton. I did that for about 5 years, defending government claims, essentially. And once I got there, I was kind of wondering what the next step was. And for me, the answer was law school. So I took all that experience from my defense work, rolled it into law school, and switched teams and became a plaintiff attorney.
Wow, what an interesting story. So today, when it comes to personal injury, what is the number one misconception you come across?
I think the biggest thing that we see is people are scared to contact a personal injury attorney. They think that it's going to cost them a bunch of money. They think it's going to be a headache, and they just don't want to go through the process. The reality is our job is to make your life easier. If you're calling me, you're probably having a really bad day. You were hurt or have been hurt in the past and you're in pain. You've probably been trying to go to doctors who have been telling you, I won't see you because it was an accident. So your life is already in a very stressful place. My job is to take that off your plate. So when you come see us, we're going to take care of getting you to medical providers. We're going to take care of those co-pays and the billing that typically happens up front. We're also going to take care of the investigation, such as getting the police report, interviewing witnesses. So ideally, you call us and we take care of all of that for you. And then the secondary concern of cost, of course, you hear them on the radio, you hear personal injury attorneys yelling at you through your speakers all day, every day. We all have the same fee set up. So personal injury, we're one of the only attorneys that if we don't win, we don't get paid. So there is no upfront bill. Really, there's no backside bill either. What we do is we take a percentage of the settlement. So our fees never become a bill that is due. We're never going to send you to collections. We're never going to be knocking on your door asking us where our accounts receivables are. We have the same goal, and it's to compensate you for your injuries. And our piece of that pie comes afterwards. It's never going to come from your pocket.
Wow, Eric. So it sounds like you really have a heart for this business. Now let's get to the heart of your business. We do know that marketing is the heart of every business. So ideally, who are those ideal customers you're really looking to help, or who is your target audience? And today, how are you attracting them?
So we have a really strange product, right? We sell a product that most people hope that they never need. So it's hard to sell a product for a service that people don't want, right? A service that they pray that they never need. So one of the things that we do is just try to talk about the misconceptions in our industry and things like the questions we just went over. Just try to clarify what the process is. Um, but really, I think it's just about being a member of the community. So, I am the legal officer for Denton's Day of the Dead board, Denton's Day of the Dead Festival, which is a cultural nonprofit in Denton. I also volunteer at food banks. We show up to like UNT events and football games. To me, it's just about being a member of the community and showing people that they matter, even if there's not an invoice in it for you.
That's wonderful. Now, on the online front, is there anything you're really doing to get the word out there more about your business?
So I'm really trying to use social media. It's the evil we all have to use, unfortunately. I try to post informative posts about, hey, this is something to consider, and I try to post things that will help people even when they're not in need of my services. So one of the things that I preach religiously and will talk to anybody about is insurance coverages. If you're driving a motorcycle per se, check your auto policy. Make sure that you have UIM, and PIP coverages. And just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. You can't trust other drivers to necessarily have your best interest in mind. So I really try to post short videos about things that we can all use in our life and things that will help you in the long run.
Wow. Now, in terms of posting short videos, have you ever thought about having your own podcast for the business before addressing some of these misconceptions?
Um, I am naturally a introvert, so it's something that has come up and that I have been avoiding, but it could be fascinating. We have a lot of stories to tell, and we see a lot of strange things. So I could see that being a fun thing to do in the future.
So, if I was a first time client for you, right, what is the number one takeaway you'd like me to gather from learning about Curtis Law Group?
So the biggest thing is keep in mind that insurance company, whether it's your insurance or the other person's insurance, or let's say it's a premise liability, it's Walmart's insurance company. If they're in the insurance business, their job is to keep claim costs down and claim payments down. And I'm not saying that they're evil people. I'm just saying that that's their job. So a lot of times insurance companies will call you pretty quickly after the accident and they'll offer you something that sounds like, for example, this is a real case with Uber. They'll offer you something that says, "Hey, we'll pay you $5,000 and that's its own bucket of money. And that is for you to go get whatever treatment you want. And then we are also going to pay you $1,000 to release this claim." So on paper, it sounds like, hey, this is a great deal. I'm getting $1,000 in my pocket and they're taking care of my medical bills. Well, in those cases, what happens is there's a time limit through their contract with you. So they'll say, hey, okay, we got a deal, sign this paper. But there's a contract that says you can only seek treatment for 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days. Well, we have some clients that don't know their injuries until they hit that 30-day, 60-day, 90-day mark. So they could have a sore back, and to them, it's, hey, it's a sore back. I'm going to get checked out by my doctor and move on. Well, in reality, it's a disc herniation or a torn disc, something that needs some type of procedure to fix. Well, it's too late because you've already signed that document. And they're going to say, hey, time's up. You didn't get treated in time. So what happens if, say, you need a spinal fusion? Well,
So,
you
let
can't get a
me
spinal fusion.
Yes, let me stop you for a second about your company directly, Curtis Law Group. What is the number one takeaway you would like our listeners to gather from learning about your company specifically?
So specifically with our company, again, I just like to lean on our experience with our defense work. We know all the tips and tricks that the insurance companies use to keep settlements down because we've been there. So that's one of the things that sets us aside. And to our clients, I would just say, take your time with treatment. Take your time getting better because you only get one bite at the apple. So get a good attorney that understands the field that we're in, and take your time getting better. That's the biggest portion, is to make sure that you're okay and that you're going to be okay when this is all over.
And where can our listeners go to learn more about Curtis Law Group?
Absolutely. So we do have a Facebook page, an Instagram page, and our TikTok is new. It's a fledgling account, so there's only a couple of videos on there. But those are all under our handle at Curtis Law Group. And you can also go to our website at curtislawgroup.com and check out our attorney profiles and what we do.
Well, Eric, I really appreciate you being on the show today. We wish you and your business the best moving forward.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpfrisco.com. That's gnpfrisco.com. Or call 469-221-9345.